February 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray vanished after crashing her car on a rural road in New Hampshire. Before disappearing, Maura emailed her professors, telling them she needed time off due to a family emergency. But no such emergency existed. After her car was found abandoned, a witness reported seeing Maura near the scene of the accident, appearing uninjured. However, by the time police arrived, she was gone. Despite extensive searches, no trace of Maura has ever been found. Her belongings were still in the car, but there were no signs of foul play. Some believe she ran away to start a new life, while others suspect something far more sinister. To this day, the disappearance of Maura Murray remains one of the most baffling and unsettling cases in modern true crime. If you want to hear more true tales like this one, like and subscribe.
Shortly after 7 p.m. on the night of February 9th, 2004, the Grafton County Sheriff's Department in New Hampshire began receiving reports of a car accident. The first call notified police that a black Saturn had been wedged against a snowbank in Woodsville, New Hampshire. The second came from a local school bus driver named Butch Atwood, who said a young woman was inside of the car still and appeared unharmed, but she was notably cold to the touch. Atwood also said that the young woman had begged him not to call the police. He obliged her at first and then reported the incident once he got home. When police finally arrived at the scene, the woman was nowhere to be seen, but they believed it was Maura Murray, a 21-year-old University of Massachusetts student who had recently gone missing. And indeed, they were able to confirm that it was her car. Murray's mysterious disappearance initially seemed clear-cut. Murray likely got into a drunk driving accident which could have then resulted in her death in the nearby woods, but the case grew more sinister as police continued to investigate it. The last person to see Murray alive, and well before Atwood, was her father, Fred. The two had dined together the night before the black Saturn was found in the snow. Fred recalled how the two of them had a perfectly normal meal. He then lent Murray his car so that she could drive back to campus in time for a party. Murray then crashed the car on her way home from the party at around 2:30 a.m. When Murray called her father to explain the incident, he assured her that she would need to report the crash to the DMV the next day, but there was nothing to worry about. When she finally got home that night, Fred recalled how his daughter seemed perfectly fine, but the next day, Murray disappeared. The morning of February 9th, Murray contacted her professors and told them that she was taking a week off due to a death in the family. She then packed up her dorm room, drove to an ATM in her own car, and withdrew $280, went to the DMV, and then bought a large amount of alcohol. She called her own voicemail at 4:37 p.m. And these were the last pieces of evidence regarding Murray's whereabouts and activities. When police found her car later that night, they also found printed directions to a condo complex in Burlington, Vermont, and phone records showing that she had called one of the owners there. Note to her boyfriend detailing their relationship issues was then found in her cleared-out dorm room. Despite purported sightings of her in the years since, Murray has remained a missing person ever since. Friends and family continue to wonder what happened to Maura Murray.
Did you know that my missing sister Maura's vehicle had a black box called a sensing and diagnostic module? We had it analyzed. Here's something interesting we found. The black box captured two events occurring 2/100ths of a second apart from each other. The first event was basically waking the black box up, and the second event was deployment of the airbags. This could be consistent with her going off the roadway into the ravine, waking the black box up, and then striking an object. But what was the object? The damage isn't consistent with hitting a tree. It's not smooth. You can see in the picture here. So what did she hit?
21 years old on February 9th of 2004 when she left her dorm room at UMass Amherst, where she was a nursing student. She was heading for New Hampshire after telling her professors she had a family emergency, but her parents say there was no emergency and still don't know why she was going north. She never made it to her destination, and her car was found crashed on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. 911 transcripts show a call from a man driving by a few minutes later. He said that she was shaken up and the airbags had deployed with heavy damage, but she refused any help. By the time an officer got there, the car was locked and there was no sign of her. And now they're hoping this age-progressed picture will generate new leads and tips.
It's been 20 years exactly since Maura Murray disappeared February 9th, 2004. And on this 20th anniversary of her disappearance, the Cold Case Unit has released this new age progression of what she would look like now if she is alive. Maura was 21 years old when she disappeared in New Hampshire. Maura was a nursing student and she disappeared, and she took a car and she crashed it, and then she was never seen again. Maura's sister, Julie Murray, who is on this app, has started a new podcast called Media Pressure. And in this new podcast, Julie and her family tell the story of Maura from their perspective. Julie 100% believes that this case will be solved. And today, on the anniversary of her disappearance, they're doing a vigil at the site of the crash. And they say that if anybody can't make it to the site, but they still want to participate, they say to light a candle in memory of Maura at 7:30 p.m. to light up the sky for Maura. I find this story fascinating because how does somebody disappear without a trace like this? And if you're interested, like I am in this case, then I recommend listening to Media Pressure podcast.
Unpopular opinion, but my missing sister Maura's car did not hit a tree. According to the expert vehicle reconstructionist, the damage was not consistent with hitting a tree. For one, it's not smooth. Two, the hood is pushed back, but not the bumper. So whatever she hit was at an angle less acute than 90 degrees. There you have it. What do you think? I'll see you in the comments. This graphic is too good not to share. It's a depiction of where things were inside my missing sister Maura's car at the time of her accident. Thanks and credit go to Melissa for putting this together. I'm going to pause for a second, get out of your way so you can take a look. This is her sourcing slide. Pause to take a look. I'd be interested to know if anything stands out to you. If so, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thanks. My sister Maura vanished in 2004. Her car was found with a rag stuffed in the tailpipe. Let's talk about it. It was dire straits advice from my dad to prevent being pulled over by police for black smoke. Police asked my dad to remove it when he first saw the vehicle 4 days after the accident. He immediately recognized it as one of his old white work towels. We don't know whether it was ever tested. Has anyone done this before?
A girl crashed her car on a rural road in 2004. A passerby offered to help her, but she refused, saying she had already called for assistance. But she never actually made any calls. And when the police arrived, she was gone. Her car was unlocked, and her cards and phone were missing, but all her other belongings were left behind. A massive search ensued, but no trace of her was ever found. Theories about her disappearance range from foul play to voluntary disappearance, but none have been proven, and to this day, her case remains unsolved.
When my little sister Maura Murray disappeared in 2004, her car was found locked and abandoned on the side of the road in New Hampshire. That night, her car was towed to the personal garage of the tow operator. Now, most of you have heard this, but I'm just recapping for those that don't know. Now, eventually the car was taken to the police barracks, and then it was moved to Concord, New Hampshire, to the state police headquarters where it remains today. Lots of people ask me, was it tested? And yes, some areas of it were tested. And actually, my family was able to get a independent vehicle forensic analysis done many years later. There are a couple oddities about the car, and I've touched on those in other videos, so check out my playlist if you want to know more about the car. But to answer your question, no, my family does not have her car. State police have it. The lights were on. My little sister Maura Murray disappeared in 2004 in New Hampshire. She crashed a car on the side of the road, and not only were her headlights on at the time of impact, but her high beams were on. Here's the vehicle forensic report saying just that. I would love to get your thoughts on this. When do you guys use high beams? I know when I do. Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the comments. For the new people, welcome to Maura Talk. Let me tell you about it. Maura Murray disappeared under suspicious circumstances in 2004. I'm her sister Julie, and this account is to help spread awareness. Maura was a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts. She seemingly vanished within minutes of what appeared to be a single vehicle accident in a small town in northern New Hampshire. There were multiple witnesses, but when the police arrived, the car was locked and Maura was nowhere to be found. She's never been seen again. Maura's case has received international attention. I break down details of her case in my videos. Check out my playlist and give me a follow to learn more. The day my missing sister Maura disappeared, she submitted her nursing school homework assignment at 3:32 a.m. This is significant for two reasons. The homework assignment was to look up maternity terms. Some people speculate that that was because she was pregnant, when in fact, that was the actual assignment. This is the actual email she sent. Who submits a homework assignment if they're planning to disappear? What do you guys think? I'll see you in the comments. Let's talk about Maura's jacket. This photo was taken in December of 2003. It's roughly over a month before she disappeared, and it's one of the last known photos that we have of Maura. I always thought that this was a jacket that she was wearing in the ATM footage. But you'll notice on her sleeve there's a logo. It says Pacific Trail. And I actually found this jacket in some of Maura's things. I have it right here. You'll see Pacific Trail and the gray around the collar that you can see in this photo. If we look at the ATM footage, we can see that by her collar there is a darker section and it doesn't appear to have a hood. The jacket that I have here does have a hood. On this angle you can see a darker color on her sleeve. Again, the jacket I have here is completely white on the sleeve. So what does this mean? One, I don't recognize the jacket she's wearing in the ATM footage. And two, the VICAP alert says she's wearing a dark colored jacket. What do you guys think?